Hey everybody, Jimmy from Superpath here today with Ryan Baum and Jordan Miller from the Gorgeous content team. They're expanding their team, which is what we'll be talking about today. But maybe first, Ryan and Jordan, could you guys just give a quick intro of yourselves individually?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Ryan. I lead the content team. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm from Florida originally. I've been in content now for about 4 years. Before that, I was in PR. And really excited to find this person and start expanding the team because I think we've been doing a lot of really great work with Jordan, and it's just going to allow us to do more.
I'm Jordan. I'm existing editor for Gorgeous. I've been at Gorgeous for about 8 months. And before that, I've been in-house and then also kind of spent the majority of my time at Animals. So got some nice agency experience there and some freelance writing experience beforehand. Like Brian mentioned, we're building something really cool at Gorgeous, and we're stoked to be growing the team with another editor. And yeah, happy to talk about it.
Ryan, could you talk a little bit about Gorgeous as a whole? Like, what is the product? Who is it for?
Yeah, absolutely. So Gorgeous is an e-commerce help desk. The way I usually explain it to people is like if you were to buy a pair of shoes and you were to either need like a refund or have questions or anything like that, Gorgeous can help you as a customer get the answers that you need to your questions. But the reason that our customers use that go a lot deeper than just responding to tickets. We have a lot of really thorough automation features in a suite called Automation Add-on. We have like proactive customer service opportunities, which can be like live chat campaigns or reaching out about like something that's a problem for the company that you need to let everyone know about. Like it's a very robust feature set, especially for e-commerce. And we're just e-commerce focused. So everything we do, every feature we ship, every customer we have is all e-commerce, a lot of them in the Shopify ecosystem. And that allows us to really go deep on product market fit and make sure that everything we're shipping is highly relevant to the people that we're trying to attract.
Really cool. That's awesome. And how about content? Like, where does content fit in? You know, what does the team structure look like? All of this kind of leads us into the more specific discussion of this content editor role that you're hiring for, but we'd love just kind of like get a sense of like where the team is right now.
Yeah, definitely. So I was the first content marketer hired like specifically to do content with a content background. And I joined in December of 2021. And so I've been here for about a year. After about 6 months, I had some good early results with our agency. And so I was able to make the case to hire Jordan. Jordan like 10x our output. I mean, we published like 130 pieces in the last 6 months. And most of them, like almost all of them, Jordan was responsible for the production and I was more on the strategy and distribution side. So we were really clearing it. And we basically like are growing the team now because we have like a new SVP of marketing. He's great. His name is Nick. He wants to bet bigger on content at Gorgeous. He likes what he sees and he wants to do more of it. And so we're looking to expand the team with an editor and possibly even a writer also, which will be a little bit more junior. And so the goal with that is to increase both velocity and quality of the content we're putting out. It will allow us to do more. And we're going to start by spending the next like 4 to 6 months going deep on the middle of the funnel, really trying to tie content to revenue. And then once we do that, then we'll be able to do a lot more of the stuff that I think a lot of content marketers are excited about, editorial, thought leadership, things like that, because we'll have this conversion engine built at the middle of the funnel that will make all of that actually, translate to revenue.
Got it. That's awesome. And just to clarify, the content editor role is not just editing someone else's content, but also creating content yourself, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So Jordan, actually, if you want to talk a little bit more about that. So Jordan's in the position right now. He was hired at the same level 6 months ago, and he's already been promoted to senior editor. So there's definitely a lot of room for fast growth at Gorgeous because we're growing fast as a company. Jordan, can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. So the content editor role, it does involve a little bit of like creating content from scratch as well as editing existing content. The content that you'll be editing, like the existing content that you'll be editing will come from a variety of places. Should we hire this content writer? Obviously that person's internal people's writing. So maybe like not a product manager, maybe a product manager, a product marketing manager is what I was going for. Might spin up a draft that you help, enhance and punch into shape and get into our style and, make more valuable for the reader. there's a pretty distinct possibility, especially after we get through this middle of funnel program that Ryan was talking about, of working pretty extensively either with a content agency or with like a bench of freelance writers. And so you'd be helping edit and coach those people. You might edit something that I write. Yeah, we also have a pretty extensive network of partners. So agencies that work with, e-commerce brands that use Gorgias. So they'd hire the agency to help them use the tool a little bit better, or like tech partners, other big players in the e-commerce space. And as we like continue to evolve this program, one thing we're excited to do is to bring in content from all of those different partners. And, this content editor would help make sure that it's up to our quality standards, that it's in the Gorgias, style, all of that sort of thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Something I would add real quick is that I see this role writing a little bit more than Jordan has in the past. So it's more like a mix of a writer and an editor, like a higher level writer and an editor, because we're going to be working on this program, which is going to be really modular. And one of the reasons why we wanted to bring someone in-house is because it's going to be hard to kind of farm out these posts to freelancers. And so I'm expecting, at least for the next 6 months, that this editor will also do a fair bit of writing, which I feel like, knowing a lot of my friends who are content marketers, they would be like excited about that, the opportunity to write some stuff from scratch. So I wanted to throw that out there.
That's cool. I like that, because especially working with a new company, I feel like writing is the best way to get a really good hold on the product, the customer, all that kind of thing. Yeah. Who is this person? Like the content editor specifically, like what have they been doing for the past couple of years that you feel like will have prepared them for this role?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jordan is like a good case study on like a successful editor at Gorgias. He's not only editing, but he's managing the production process. He's very cross-functional across the org. So those are some of the things that we're looking for in someone new to come in. I think, B2B SaaS experience, especially in the e-commerce space, that would be like the dream, right? Someone who understands the space, who has connections with people they could source for stories, things like that. But we understand that like that is an ideal and a perfect kind of, imaginary, person in our minds. And we're expecting like real people to apply to this role. So, everyone comes to this role from like a different background. We want to understand like what you can bring to the role. Maybe stuff that we haven't even thought of that's in the job description. We want to really find someone who we think will mesh, and it won't just be like whoever has the closest experience to what we're looking for. A lot of it will be like in the writing samples, really showcasing the way you think in the application process. We're open to like journalists, MFA students. Like I feel like it's easier to teach someone the finer nuances of content than it is to teach someone how to write like in a compelling way, not just in a technically accurate way. Jordan, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, definitely. I would say on top of the things that, the baseline things that you'll get from the job description. So like being able to improve the quality of the writing pretty quickly, like getting through a number of drafts pretty quickly. Some things that I would add are being aware of like search optimization. We have Ryan taking the lead on like everything from keyword strategy to like the big picture of search optimization, but we do want someone who can apply at least like the basic best practices of SEO while editing a draft. Somebody who has an interest in like content outside of blogs. I would say that like blog posts and case studies and like long form writing are going to be, at least for the time being, the bulk of the work. But we're a pretty small team. We don't right now have like a dedicated distribution person. So if we could find someone who's like really gung ho about, I want to get involved in social distribution, that's really fun to me, or like, email copy is something that this person's interested in. I think those would be extra points. Those are like gaps on our team that we would love to be able to fill. But again, like Ryan said, we're pretty open, and those are nice to have, definitely not requirements.
Yeah, I think to add one more thing to what Jordan said, like someone who is like strategy minded, like you're not going to be making the strategy for the team, but understanding how the work that you do, how each section of each piece ladders up to that overall strategy is really important. Like Jordan has a good grasp on kind of like what we're trying to get across, what our perceptions are as a brand. We want to help people automate more so they can spend more time spending like quality time with tickets that matter. We want like revenue to be something that's considered as part of this like help desk buying journey. And so that comes through in every piece Jordan writes, because he makes sure to like bring that into the pieces. I think that kind of like strategic awareness is really important for whatever editor we bring on.
I love it. I love it. Just before we hit record, you guys were saying you want people to apply. So I'll state that for everyone explicitly. If you're interested and you don't check every box, apply anyways. And if you want a little bit of encouragement, shoot me a DM in the Slack group. I'll be happy to look at your resume, your writing samples, give you a little bit of encouragement. So put yourself out there. You never know. Also, there's potentially another role coming. So there might be 2 people who are lucky enough to work with Gorgias. Can we talk about benefits for a second? Gorgias has a pretty strong list of benefits here. Obviously, you know, if you're interested in the role, go read it. But is there anything, Ryan or Jordan, that you all want to highlight here?
Yeah, definitely. So Gorgias is the first company I've ever worked for that like pays my health insurance, like not offers it, but like pays the premium, which is, I think, a huge investment in its employees. We have great like leave policies, both maternity and paternity leave. We have like a decent amount of vacation days. We have 4 weeks vacation. We have sick leave. Like it's just Gorgias's benefits package really demonstrates that they care about us, like as employees. You know, I think it's just like a really clear and concise way to show that. And I think they do a good job of that in that benefits package.
That's awesome. You're both in New York. Is this role in New York, or is there a possibility for someone to be elsewhere?
Yeah, so we can hire in any of our hub offices. So New York, Toronto, San Francisco, Charlotte in North America. And then we also have like Buenos Aires, Paris, Belgrade, and Sydney, I think. We'll include all of the hubs we can hire in the JD when we post it on Superpath, but it's not fully remote. Like you have to be able to go into the office at least 2 days a week in one of those hubs. Got it. That sounds nice, actually. I would love to have, and we have a great team. 2 days a week. Yeah, and I'd love to actually take that opportunity to talk a little bit about the people that work for Gorgias. So obviously, love our team. We have Jordan on the team and also a video editor named Daryl, who's amazing, really talented at his job and just like fun to be around. I think that's like kind of sums up Gorgias in general. Like Gorgias, people that work at Gorgias are fun to be around. They're nice people, but they're very good at their job, and there's not a lot of ego involved, right? So it's really easy to get, you know, help on projects when you need something or feedback. We have a big challenge culture. Every company I've ever worked for has said that. None of them have actually lived it out. I could challenge our CEO, and if I have a good enough argument, he'll consider it and take that into account. You know what I mean? So I think that that's really important, that kind of like radical candor in our culture. But also like that low ego is what makes it possible. Like we have a lot of really talented people who are not like jerks. And I think a lot of times those two things overlap. And I really like Netflix has like a slide in their culture deck. At least I think it's Netflix's culture deck. And it's like, we don't tolerate talented assholes. Like that, if I could make like that would be in my culture deck for my team, right? Like we want someone who's going to be easy to work with, and also because they're good at their job and because they're like a genuine and kind person. That's awesome. I appreciate you calling that out. I also just want to call out how thorough this job description is. I was reading through it before the call, and like you just covered so many things. We didn't even touch on all of it here, but you know, as an example, if you're interested in the role, the entire interview process is laid out here, including some information on the test project. Like, you know, we do see roles where people just say like, "Hey, we're hiring a content manager. Email us if you're interested," and like not much else. So this is clearly very thought out, and I think that really speaks to the culture that y'all have built there. Is there anything I didn't ask you about that you want to add about this role, or like a final sales pitch for it? Jordan, do you want to go first?
One thing I was going to add is we were talking about the people. More than any other place I've worked at, Gorgias has emphasized like automation and operations. It's a really big like efficiency culture, which maybe doesn't necessarily sound all that applicable to a content editor who's like spending a lot of time writing in draft, but I've at least been very surprised. Like some of the some of the like side initiatives that we've done, like a pruning project or like a backlink outreach project. Ryan's been saying that for the past year, and I didn't realize it was such a big tongue twister. Both of them, other teams that are not on the content marketing team stepped in to help us like automate the heck out of in a really impressive way. And then similar, Ryan mentioned that we're fun to be around, and I agree, but I would add some color. There's just like always, music being sent on Slack. We're always talking about, we live in Brooklyn, so we're always talking about the shows that are coming up. Daryl, who's on the team, is piping into those conversations. I really look forward to logging onto Slack and like seeing what goofy stuff Ryan has shared. So that's a big part of why I like working at Gorgias. So it feels wrong to leave that out.
Love it.
Yeah, definitely. I think like something I would add, I hope this came through when I was talking about the people that work at Gorgias earlier, but like Gorgias is my favorite place I've ever worked. And I've only worked like 3 or 4 places. So that's not like a super huge thing, but it's like significantly better. Like it's aligned with my values. It's aligned with the way I want to work. It's aligned as far as the people who work there. And I think in general, like I have faith in our CEO. I have faith in the leadership team. It's not a place where you're going to look around and be like, what are they doing? What is their job? Like, why are they here? It just doesn't happen. Like everyone at Gorgias is pulling their weight and making like incredible things happen. And so it has been like the biggest year of growth of my entire career. I would say I've grown more in the last year than in the 5 years before that in the industry.
Man, that's
just
amazing.
And that's not even an exaggeration. Like Gorgias has pushed me to like new heights of what I thought was possible because I'm being challenged to be better, but I'm also having the support of everyone around me, my boss, who's our SVP, like everyone is just like, you have all the pieces you need to grow fast with the company. And we encourage that. And as you saw with Jordan, like we reward that. And so I think that that's like a really important part of Gorgias culture. And I want to be clear about that. Like you're going to work hard at Gorgias, like you're going to work hard, but we don't expect you to be, on at 10 p.m. at night. In fact, if I see you on at 10 p.m. at night, I will say something because I don't want that to happen. We want people who are going to show up and give 100% from like 9 to 6 or whenever they're online and then go and have their life. You know what I mean? Because that will make them a better employee.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think it actually, your enthusiasm for the company and for the content specifically also shows itself on the blog and the other resources you create because it's really good, right? It doesn't end up that way by accident. And at least in my experience, teams who don't have a strong culture around content don't produce really good content. Mm-hmm. So would encourage folks to go check that out too. Cool. Ryan, Jordan, thank you so much for spending a couple minutes doing this. It's really helpful for Superpath members to see your face, hear your voice, learn more about the role, the stuff that just like can't make it into every job description. So we appreciate that. And then again, if folks are interested and you want a little encouragement or a little feedback on some of the materials that would be part of your application, just shoot me a DM in Slack. I'd be happy to help. Cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Take care.
One more thing. Can I add one more thing?
Go for it. Please.
If you have any questions or you're on the fence about applying and you're like, I don't know, for whatever reason, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just shoot me a DM and I'd be happy to answer any questions that people have. I definitely don't want, it's a thorough job description, but I don't want it to be like a deterrent. The idea is to get people excited about what it is to work at Gorgias, not to make someone feel like I don't have the qualifications to come work here.
Yeah. Cool. If you're okay with it, we can put a link to your LinkedIn in the JD
Sure.
so people can easily find you. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the time.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Jimmy.
Take care.